Hello everyone. I am so glad that you joined me for the Basics and Beyond card class to go. My name is Paula Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Louisiana. And 6.5 years ago, or a little more than that, I started this journey and it has been so much fun. When I started, I didn't know anything. I just knew I fell in love with everything and I wanted it all and I wanted a discount. And that was why I signed up. Strictly a hobby to begin with. I mainly took care of buying only the stuff that I wanted and saving a little money in the process. The last 2 or 3 years, I have been holding classes regularly, and now that we're all quarantined, I have taken my business online. So I am thrilled that you are here with me. If you are new, like I was when I started, some of the things that we talk about during card classes are things that we take for granted that everybody else knows, but they don't. So I want to try to clear up some of the questions that you might have when you get ready to look at the actual card class for the Basics and Beyond. There are 2 cards that we're going to make in there. So I'm going to run through a few things that are very basic. If there's something that you have a question about and I don't answer it, please contact me. You can reach me through my website at www.mymother'schild.com, and I would love to hear from you. One of the very first things that I want to talk about, Stampin' Up! Has wonderful paper. The quality is great. We do not have a white core in the center, so when you cut your paper, it is color all the way through. Some of the less expensive paper sometimes will have a white core and it's just colored on the top or the bottom, or maybe both. But when you cut it, you can see white. Because I don't scrapbook traditionally, I just make cards and 3D type projects. I buy the 8.5 by 11. It works best for me in the card making that I do. So this is a regular letter size, 8.5 by 11. Everything starts with a card base. A card base, the normal standard size is referred to as an A2. All that means is it measures 4.25 by 5.5. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you here. You can cut this 2 ways to get that A2 card base. You can cut at 4.25 by 11 and score at 5.5, and that will give you a tent style card that you can open up or open to the side. I usually cut at 5.5, which is half of the 8.5 by 11. I will cut down. Then I will take that and I will score it. Another great thing about our paper trimmer, we have a cutting blade, which is the dark brown one or gray one, whatever color that is. And then we have the light one. The light one just scores. And I'm going to show you what score is in just a minute. I am going to put this at 4.25. That is the center. I want to make sure I don't cut. I just want to score. Can you see that line? That's what helps you to fold your card so that the fibers in the paper don't tear or break. Before I move the trimmer, I want you to know, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this or not. Our trimmer has measurements of 1/8, 1/4, and we also have a 1/16. So it's very easy. This goes to 6. If you need to do something longer, then the arm opens up and you can use that. And then it just folds back together. This arm locks. If you travel with it, it won't fly open. So I'm going to move that out of the way for now. So now we have our card base and we have it scored. So we're going to take something called a bone folder. This is to help you get crisp edges. It's nice when you're making a card, and it's essential if you're trying to make a 3D project. So we're going to fold our card base. I usually line the corners up just to make sure it's right. And then I've run that over that edge. And you can see you get a nice crisp edge. This is an A2 card. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You can decorate it however you want and open it this way. Or if you want, you can turn it this way and do all the decoration in a landscape style and open it this way. Totally up to you. I do them both. The other thing that you're going to find very helpful is ink. These are our Stampin' Up! Ink pads. I take for granted people know how to open them until I have someone new and then I realize they don't. So I just want to give you a quick tutorial on just how to open this stamp set. One of the easiest ways to do it is to take your thumbs and put them at the back right here and push down. Well, I said that. I'm going to show you how I do it. If you put your thumb here and just open it like that, and then it slides right back in the case. And now you have your stamp pad for when you are ready to ink. When you are stamping, you really don't have to do, I tell people you don't have to do CPR on your stamps. You don't have to do this to get a good impression. In fact, you will get a better impression if you don't. You want to take your stamp and you want to tap it on your ink and move it around. And then you can look at your stamp. It's going to be hard to tell on this one because it's light colored ink. But you can look at your stamp and tell if you have enough ink. If you're not sure if you're getting correct coverage, you can always stamp on a piece of grid paper or scrap paper. And there you go. So there's no, and also you want your stamp to be close to the size of the block that you use. When you put a little bitty stamp on a bigger block, I'm going to show you with this one. I'm going to leave that one on there. But if you were to put this stamp, this little stamp on this bigger block and stamp it, when you go to stamp, I'll go ahead and take this off. It will rock. And when that happens, you sometimes get what we call a halo, which is an outside line, a little border, if you will. So if you match your stamp size to your stamp block, you'll get a better result. The other thing that comes in handy, especially for when you're new, is the multi-purpose liquid glue. This glue, when you go to adhere something down, gives you some time to move it. I'm trying to see if I have a scrap here. I can show you what I mean. Let me look over here just a second. All right, I cleaned my office, so that's why I can't find anything now. But if you were to, I'm gonna use a corner of this. If you were to put this on your card, like right there, and you go to put something down, and if it's down in the wrong place, if you use some of our other adhesives, it's probably down. This one gives you a little bit of time. You can move it and get it just the way you want. If it wasn't straight, you get it just the way you want, and then you can rub it and it's down. So I want to be sure that you know about this. We do have others, but for new people or for someone who's not used to lining things up, this is a great beginner's adhesive. These are paper snips. I love these scissors. The point goes all the way to the very end. So when you're cutting something, you can put this tip exactly where you want it to stop and cut all the way down. They're easy to hold. I've had carpal tunnel surgery on both hands, and I have no trouble holding these. They're very lightweight, and they last, well, I've had these since I started. Occasionally, if I've been cutting something that's got a lot of adhesive on it, I will clean them off with some Goo Be Gone or Undo or something like that. Another thing we're going to talk about when you see the video, we're going to talk about dimensionals. These are dimensionals. They give your card lift, or they give an element on your card lift. When you get your card kit, you will have 1 sheet of these in with your kit. When you purchase these from Stampin' Up, there are 2 to a pack. We have 3 different kinds. We have this kind, which is the regular Stampin' Dimensionals. We have some which are smaller, and those are called our mini dimensionals. And then we have some which are black. So when you're doing cards with a dark background, those are very handy because you don't see the white. The black just blends into the darker backgrounds. The other thing I wanted to tell you about, we talked about layering. So here we have our card base. We want to put something on the inside. We want this to layer. I don't want it to go all the way. I want it to layer and have an even margin around. When I put it like this, we have about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So rather than having to cut 1/8 of an inch all the way around, what we do is, this is 4 1/2, this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So we're going to cut this at 4, which is 1/4 inch less, which will then give us 1/8 of an inch on each side. We're going to cut this at 5 1/4, which is 1/4 inch less, and that will give us 1/8 of an inch. So you've made 2 cuts, but now you have your layer. The exciting thing is you can keep making layers, and it doesn't have to be just 1/8 of an inch. Maybe you want a wider border. It's very easy to do. Another fun thing to do once you get started, you're not gonna be able to see it that well with this size, but you can, nobody says you have to put it on like this. If it's smaller, turn it to the side. It gives it an extra look, a little extra pizzazz, still just with paper. I think that is it. Oh no, I know, one other very important thing. When you get your stamp sets, we have different stamp sets. These are called clean, and they are made out of red rubber. They come like this. They're all together on 1 piece of red rubber. I am going to take this one out. You just punch them out. You find this sentiment says, so smart, so fun, so sweet, and so wonderful. So we find that on this sheet of paper. And on one side, you'll see that there is a break in the paper. So you can peel that off. I hope you can see this. And then you peel the other side off. Once you've done that, you're going to peel this piece off of your stamp. Now, I'm going to try to do this. Normally I would stand directly over it, but I'm trying to stand out of your way. Then you take this and you line it up over here. Not too bad for being a little out of balance there. So now you have your, you can look at this and know what you have. The best thing is when you put it on your block, you see how well it sticks? It's not coming off. Some of our older designs, after you use them for a while, they might fall off. This one's not going anywhere. When you get ready to take it off, you're going to want to lift up a corner and peel it back. If it sticks, just keep working until you can find a corner to lift. If you just brute force pull it off, it will separate. It will tear your stamp. So just remember, just grab a corner and peel. When I put them back in my case, I take the piece, I put it in there. I put this in here, and I put this back like this. And that way it will stick to this paper and it won't stick to this. So these are our cling mount stamps, which is what the sunflower stamp set is. When you get it, that's how you'll put your labels on. Some people put them all on at one time. Some people just put the ones on the one that they're using. Totally up to you. I think that answers most of the questions you might have. If you have any questions, remaining, please let me know. I'd love to answer them for you, and I hope you enjoy making your first 2 cards. Thank you.